Hello friends, I am Dr. Meera, a psychologist, wellness trainer and a life coach. Today we are going to see a very simple practice that is going to help you to switch your emotions from negative to positive. So normally the most important or the most difficult process is to switching emotions from being negative to positive. So in the earlier videos, we have seen the importance of choosing the right emotion. So many a times because of our life circumstances, because of our situations, we always take the wrong emotions, or we feel normally people are very fearful, very anxious. There's a lot of tension within us, a lot of worry, especially for parents, mothers, students worried about their marks, worried about studying, worried about not being able to learn properly, parents worried about their children doing well in life. So there's a lot of tension, worry, anxiety, fear in the air, grief. So these are the emotions that most people prefer to take, or it's not that they prefer to take, they unconsciously take it due to their life experience or due to the situations that they face every day in life. So today we are going to look at a very simple technique to switch your emotion from a negative one to a positive one. We've already seen in the map of consciousness the different levels of consciousness from the space of emotions. So today's topic is practicing diaphragmatic breathing to switch from one emotion to another. So how is breathing important in one's life? Breath is something that we all have taken for granted, isn't it? But our breath is actually what gives us life. So if we control or regulate our breath, definitely we have the power to switch emotions from negative to positive very easily. And this is going to help us live a much better life in our future. So let's get into the topic and let's look at why breathing is so important, why feeling your breath is so important, and the breath cycle or the rate of your breath is so important in life, or to live a better life, or to live even a longer life. So there is a lot of correlation and there is a lot of scientific evidence that proves the importance of breath and how it is connected to mind-body mechanism. So an important science behind this is how is the body and mind connected? It is definitely through the breath. If you can regulate your breath, and if the body comes to relaxation, the mind also automatically calms down. So the science behind it is the system that we use. We have two types of autonomous nervous system. In the autonomic nervous system, there are two systems. There is the sympathetic system and there is the parasympathetic system. So it depends upon which system we trigger based on the breath cycle that we carry. So let's look at, in a minute, what would be the number of counts of breath that we take. That definitely determines the system that we follow or the system that gets activated in the body, and that further determines the state of mind of that person. So if you want to remain in a calm state, if you want to always do things from the space of peace, joy, happiness, love, as we saw in the map of consciousness, the higher levels of consciousness, then practicing the tool diaphragmatic breathing is going to really help you switch from a lower negative disempowering emotion to a higher positive empowering emotion. So take a minute and check your breath. So you can put a stopwatch near you, start from 0, and when it finishes 1 minute, count the number of breaths that you have taken in a minute. So let's look at what is the number of breath cycles that you take normally in a minute, normal life, in the normal breath cycle. So you can check that out, take 1 minute out and check it out and see and note down the number of breath cycles that you have taken in 1 minute. Okay, so I hope you have done that. In 1 minute, how many breath cycles have you completed? Now, what do you mean by a breath cycle? One breath cycle is one inhalation and one exhalation. So when I inhale and then exhale, my count is 1. I hope you got that. So inhale and exhale and you have count 1 in the same manner, 60 seconds, look at the number of breath cycles that you have completed. So write down that number and let's check it out. Scientific research says that if your breath cycle is more than 20 or between 22 to 30, then you are actually activating your sympathetic nervous system. And when you activate your sympathetic nervous system, that means you are on a flight or fight mode. It's like a danger is in front of you and you are in a fight or flight response. That is how your breath cycle is. So a normal human being's breath cycle, if less than 20, ideally between 14 to 18, then you are activating your parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic system is a system of balance, is a system of calmness, is a system of homeostasis. All your organs are functioning beautifully at this system and is always calmer and relaxed. So see how your body and mind is connected just by your breath rate. It's a beautiful science to get. So if you reduce your breath cycle to at least between 14 to 18, or even meditators will definitely go less than 14, it will be even less than 10. So the more calmer you are, the lesser the breath rate. The lesser the breath rate, the more balanced system gets activated, which is the parasympathetic system, and that is a system of homeostasis or balance, and from that space is then that you see through life and you create life. But if your breath cycle is more than 20, say some people even have 40 as their breath cycle, so that is actually where your heart is palpitating, the breath cycle is very high, the rate is very high. At that time, it's like as if you're in front of a danger. For example, if a tiger is in front of you, you would definitely palpitate, you would immediately want all your energy to be in your muscles and you would want to run away. You would either want to fly out. So that is called a flight, or you have to either fight the circumstances or fight the tiger. So that is called a fight or flight response. That happens only when your sympathetic system is active. So it is very important to get, do you want to activate your sympathetic system or do you want to activate your parasympathetic system when you're living a normal life? So in olden days, when people did not have houses, most people lived on a sympathetic system because there's always a danger sign. Either an animal can come and eat you, or you can be attacked by any other wild animal in the forest. So in those days when we did not live in houses, mostly a human being's sympathetic system was always on alert. It was always activated and people had to be more alert because there was more danger around us. But in today's life, there is no danger around us. We are completely safe and secure. But still, out of nowhere, we tend to breathe very fast and we tend to activate our sympathetic system and then always be on a flight or fight mode. And that is the reason people get angry very fast. People get sad very fast. People become fearful so fast. So fast they become, under stress or under tension or under worry or under anxiety. So the secret behind this is that you are having a tendency to activate your sympathetic system always, and your breath rate will normally be above 20-22. And that is the reason whatever happens in life, there is a tendency to respond to it from a sympathetic space and not from a parasympathetic space. So what is the trick or what is the secret behind calm living or having a calm mind or having a relaxed mind, no matter what the situation is to actually calm yourself down by breathing at a rate less than 20. Only when we breathe at a rate less than 20, then automatically the parasympathetic system gets activated and the body and mind is in balance, relaxed, homeostasis, and then you are in a space of courage, willingness, neutrality, acceptance. You can accept that challenging situation and then you can think about solving that problem. So let's look at a beautiful practice in order to lesser or reduce the breath rate. This is there is no complication in this process. It is the easiest process to continuously do wherever you are. The best way to practice it is by lying down, but you can also practice it sitting. So in the first step, it is better to practice lying down. So this is how the practice would go. All of you can probably do it with me. So you can lie down. So after lying down, you can keep your right hand on the belly and your left hand in your just next to your heart, and then you need to breathe. So when you breathe in, inhalation, the breath has to go right down to the abdomen and your abdomen has to rise. Breathe out, abdomen has to go down and you breathe out. So when this happens, the breath rate automatically reduces. Normal people breathe only from their chest and so the breath rate is much more, the breath cycle is much more. But when you breathe like this with conscious of awareness that diaphragmatic breathing is much better because you can reduce your breath cycle and you can always be in homeostasis or you can always be activating your parasympathetic system wherever you are. So be aware of this and practice it whenever you need it, especially in a danger situation or especially in a situation where there is no danger but you are palpitating just because your breath rate is high. So let's just practice it. You can keep one hand on your belly and one on your abdomen and one hand on your chest and slowly breathe. You can breathe out first so that you can bring in your belly inside, then breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, belly inside, breathe in, belly outside, breathe out. Abdominal muscles will go inside. Breathe in, breathe out. Doing this practice every day for at least 5 to 10 minutes, even before you get up, is going to give you a beautiful feeling, is going to give you a mind that is going to be very calm. And every now and then in the day, whenever you're stressed, go lie down or sit down and do this diaphragmatic breathing at least for 5 to 10 minutes. Your mind is going to calm down and then look at the challenging situation and handle it with the right emotion and be a problem solver. So diaphragmatic breathing is a methodology that is going to really help you switch from sympathetic to parasympathetic. It is going to reduce your breath cycle, and when we reduce your breath cycle, you get a larger span of life also, because the number of breaths a human being has in their life is actually fixed. So if you keep breathing very heavily always, there is a tendency for you to live lesser. The lifespan will be less. You can increase your lifespan by actually reducing your breath cycle by using this very simple technique called diaphragmatic breathing. Why is it called diaphragmatic breathing? Because you're breathing through the diaphragm. You're breathing by getting all the air to the diaphragm and not just to your chest. By practicing this every day, slowly you switch to your brain activating more of your parasympathetic system rather than your sympathetic system. And this is the way the body is connected to the mind. If the body is on a parasympathetic note, you can handle any situation in a relaxed, homeostasis, balanced manner. But if your body is on a sympathetic note, even if there is no danger, even if there is no problem, you will be always anxious. So learn this technology, learn this methodology, do it every day, very, very simple practice, and switch from a negative to a positive emotion. This is the simplest technique to handle your emotions, because we all know that emotions is key to attracting the most beautiful life that you really wish to have. So practice this. Do give me your comments and do let me know how this practice has been for you and how is it changing you. People who can do this for more than 10 minutes, you're going to feel extremely good inside. So the more we feel better inside, the more you can handle challenges outside, the more you can handle difficulties that you face every day outside. So handle all the challenges in your life with the right breath pattern, with the right mindset, and by choosing the right emotion. So practice, 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 and live the life of your dreams. Thank you and have a great day.